Hello everyone, I'm Woman International Master Knarik and I'm using the chesswithknarik.com website to record this video. In this video we're going to see another pawn race. What's a pawn race? It is when both sides are racing, are trying to promote, and the side that promotes first usually has the advantage. Of course, promoting first does not mean that we're gonna win, because sometimes it can be that we promote first, but then our opponent promotes maybe with a check, maybe with an attack that cannot be stopped, and then it will not be so useful if we have promoted first. But most of the time, definitely it is better to promote first, and we should aim for that. Let's see this position. In this position, if we see, white has a passed pawn that's on the c3 square, which looks like it needs several moves to promote. Let's say if we count them, we need 5 moves to promote our pawn, while black has a pawn, again a passed pawn, on f4. And this f4 pawn just needs 3 moves to promote, which looks like maybe black has the upper hand. And not only this pawn needs 3 moves, in addition, one of the moves that black is going to be doing is going to be with a check. This means that black will be gaining time when the pawn reaches f2, and then when our king moves away, black will be able to push and promote in a faster way. So what to do here? If here we have the white pieces, we should definitely stop black from promoting. Otherwise, we can see clearly that they're going to promote first. So let's see what is black's threat here, because just pushing the pawn like that randomly cannot be a threat, because the moment the black pawn reaches the f2 square, with a check even, we can just put our king on the f1 square and stop that pawn. So definitely that's not black's threat. Black needs to help that pawn promote, and black's threat would be then moving the king to g2. By moving the king to g2, if it were black's turn, of course, so black would be supporting the pawn all the way. It's like they're holding the hand of their pawn until it promotes, and then also by gaining time reaching the f2 square and promoting safely. So then we know, going back, we know that black's threat is moving the king to g2 to win this game, to promote and win this game. So what can we do? If we just ignore that threat and push our pawn, that's what black is going to be doing. King to g2, and then we're pushing our pawn. Yes, black lost time, but then they're gonna make up that lost time by doing the check on f2. We're moving away. Definitely we're not moving away with our king to e2, because that's losing another tempo, another move by promoting with a check. So we definitely need in this position to not move to e2, but move to d2, so that when the black pawn promotes, it's not going to be with a check. And of course, it is tempting here to promote with a check and to promote to a knight, but we have to be very careful. You know, I know that it is very tempting for some chess players in the beginning, to promote to not just to promote, but to do moves that are with check. It's really tempting in the beginning when we are beginners or intermediate level. But definitely we need to think about later, not just check because a move is a check. Because here, for example, if we do this check, it's true that it's a check, but okay, if we think about it, we have to play this endgame now, and in this endgame we have one knight against a pawn that's going to promote, and we won't be able to stop that pawn. White is going to be able to promote safely and keep a queen against a knight, which is definitely winning for white. So going back, here then the threat is g2, and so we cannot just push our pawn. Then what else to play? We need our king to make the important move, to make a change in the position, not to allow black to play king to g2. And how can we do that? Definitely by moving the king to f1. By moving the king to f1, we are stopping all black's threats. That black pawn will never be able to promote now, because our king is blocking the way. And then what will black play? Just pushing the pawn is just going to be a waste of time. Instead of pushing the pawn, then black will try to at least not lose the game. Okay, if they're not going to win, at least they shouldn't lose the game. And then they have to try to capture our pawn before it promotes. So here it's very important for black to try to get the white pawn, and it can be done in different ways. For example, the black king might move to the f3 square. When we push our pawn, the black king is moving to e4. So the black king does not need to worry about our pawn, and because definitely is making it to capture it, because we talk a lot about the square of a passed pawn, and if I draw that square, I draw this diagonal in the direction of the promotion rank, and I see that the black king is in this square already, which means that black has different ways to get to our pawn and capture it. So here simply moving to f3 would be fine, moving to g4 would be fine, but definitely moving from f3 is good because it delays white getting forward to capture the black pawn. So definitely for black, moving from f3 is good, but the result would be the same. When we push our pawn and the black king has to get in the square of that black pawn, of that pawn on c4, by moving to e4. Otherwise, let's see here, the square of the passed pawn has become this one when we pushed it to c4. So black has no choice but to get in that square, which means that now we have the chance to get closer to the black pawn. When black is capturing our pawn, then we will have the chance to capture the black pawn as well. So this is going to be ending in a draw. So going back, it's very important in this pawn race to keep several things in mind. First of all, if we notice that we are, let's say, behind in a pawn race, it's very important that we try our king to defend, to use our king to defend. For example, here the defense came in playing king to f1. Another thing that's important is to be careful to stop our opponent's threats. For example, here the threat was king to g2. And another thing to keep in mind here is that we can use our pawn to gain time and to make our opponent's king move away so that we have time to go and capture their pawn as well.